Good evening. Welcome to Blood Moon Oracle. My name is Leticia. Ooh, the shine is real, y'all. That shiny forehead. I hope you guys are well tonight. Welcome. My name is Leticia. So tonight I'm piggybacking off of the last reading I did around purpose, right? I feel like Spirit is just leading me really into honing in on purpose right now. So I want to delve in and I just ask, like, what type of purposes are being born for for my collective, those that watch my channel. And so I tapped into the energy and got my answer. And so I'm going to read that tonight, what Spirit gave me. And if it resonates, it does. If it doesn't, don't try to make it fit. It is what it is, right? It's absolutely for somebody, even if it's not for you. Some of it may resonate, some of it may not. Don't feel, like you have to make it fit, right? It's like a shoe. If it don't fit, then don't wear it. It's not yours, period. Okay. And so I did pull from my Isis Oracle again. And I also pulled from my Luna and my Star Tarot. And then I pulled a couple of additional cards from my Wisdom of Hidden Realms deck. And so that's what we're tapping into tonight for the energy. So let's get started. It is kind of late. This is a late night reading. I felt called to do it before I went and laid my little pretty eyes down. But let's see. The energies that came out when I asked, like, what type of energies are we stepping into? What type of energies are surfacing when it comes to purpose? And I got the Divine Sisterhood. I love this. Okay, let me just say, I'm for the sisterhood. I got Wings of Isis. And yes, we are heading back into the Egyptian themes, as you can see. And then I have the Eye of Horus. And so overall, when it came to like what type of things are surfacing when it comes to purpose, I feel like this could be talking about someone who's called to, I even want to, and the word that's coming up for me right now is minister, right? It's coming up. That's not the only word though. This could be someone who has like a special calling to women, specifically the Divine Sisterhood, to cultivate communities of women. I feel like this is something that's very much needed right now. But you are someone who has been called to cultivate communities of women for purposes of building, maybe even directing, teaching, building up women, communities of women, and teaching women how to stand together and, stand kind of like as a collective force for the good, whatever that might be. That might be different on the day that, you end up standing to do something collectively, but teaching women how to love themselves, to honor and to look deeper into themselves for a deeper purpose, maybe even a deeper mission, I feel like, for whoever you are. But I feel like this is about someone who has some realm of influence. Many times when we are talking about our purpose, it's always connected to something that we already are doing, maybe in a different way, maybe with a different purpose behind it. Maybe we don't even understand that this is our calling, but you are somebody who attracts. You have this realm of influence, this certain magnetic attraction when it comes to women, and it's natural. Women are just drawn to you, or there's something that you do that is very attractive for women. I guess it could be brothers too. You could be on the other end of the spectrum. You could be someone who attracts men, right? Someone who actually have this, there's something about you that draws men to you, right? I really feel like this is kind of like a role that you stand in without even trying, right? Where people come to you for advice, people come to you for direction, for guidance. You may find that people are following you and you don't even realize that you have this great following of people that are watching you and being guided by you for whoever you are. I feel like that is coming in as part of your purpose. I also have the Wings of Isis. And again, like I was saying, this keeps coming up for somebody. There's a heavy influence of angelic help. Wings of Isis is all about unveiling the angelic self. And so there's something about a tremendous amount of angelic help, angelic protection, angelic guidance, angelic assistance for whoever you are. I feel like that's purposeful for whatever it is that you've been called to do, whatever that is, okay, requires this additional help. Whatever that is requires a heavy level of protection around you at all times. And you may be able to look back and point at times where you realized how protected you were, right? Wings of Isis is someone who, whatever it is that you have been purposed to do, requires a lot of assistance. And doesn't mean that you don't have assistance in the physical realm, but you absolutely have a presence and you absolutely have assistance in the spiritual realm, right? As I say all the time, there's just armies of angels at our disposal, I guess, depending on who you are and who's been assigned or who has been sent, but I'm just seeing just armies of angels around you and protecting you for whatever it is that you've been called to do. There's just a heavy level of assistance that has been assigned to you. For someone, you may be viewed in likes of some type of higher divinity, right? You may recognize yourself as not just a normal everyday individual. You may be someone who taps into your divinity on a high level, right? You actually live by that for whoever you are. I feel like this is also tapping into you being set apart in some type of way, or realizing that you have been called to something higher. And it's so funny because sometimes we don't understand, the calling that we have on our life or the purpose that we have on our life. And the fact that we are not like everybody else, right? You come to the point where you can't do what everybody else do, right? You can watch people all day long do crooked stuff and get over on people and treat people, however they feel they want to treat them for that day. And it seems as if nothing happens. Like they go on living, they go on prospering, they go on doing whatever it is that they plan to do. The moment that you try it, it's like the hand of God comes down and smacks the back of your neck. It's like, what are you doing? Right? So for whoever you are, I feel like the standard that is upon you, the standard that you carry is much higher. Like you can't get away with things that the average person gets away with. There are those that can live a lawless life or a life without spiritual principle. You are not one of them. Okay, that's what I hear Spirit saying. You are not one of them, right? You can't do what everybody else do. You can't get away with what everybody else gets away with because your correction is swift. And I feel like that is because there is something that you've been brought here to do. There is. So for whatever that is, it requires a heavy level of assistance for you. And in this case, for you, it's from the angelic realm. I keep getting this. So I must have the same person watching these videos because I keep tapping into the same energy. Who are you? Who are you? That's what I want to know. And then I have the Eye of Horus. There's something about for somebody, there is a spirit or an energy of awakening that you carry. Your purpose has something to do with carrying this energy of awakening. And so there's something about you when you step on a scene, when you leave a scene, or when you leave a place, when you leave a situation, the perception is changed. Like your purpose is to change. I feel like even worldviews to change the perception. And it's almost like a movement that I'm feeling like you've been called to change how people see reality in some type of way. The Eye of Horus is actually a symbol that we see very often. I don't know if we recognize that that's what the symbol is. It's an eye, and it looks like an Egyptian eye, an Egyptian artifact or something like that. But it's like an eye, and then it has like lines coming out of it and swoops. Whenever you see that Egyptian eye, right, that's talking about the eye of Horus. Let me see if I can find a picture of it. The eye of Horus. Trying to see. I don't see any pictures. The eye. Nope. I think I put one on my previous video on her arm. There was like a tattoo, I believe, and it was a tattoo of an eye, if I'm not mistaken. Go look at my last video, the picture on that, and it'll show you the eye of Horus. There's something about your gifts, whatever that is, that's actually expanding, it's growing. You may be even awakening to what that is, or maybe realizing the purpose behind that gift. Let me say that many times we do have gifts that we're born with, that we operate in, and don't even realize that it's a gift. Now, for somebody, whoever you are, there's something about the purpose that is awakening behind why you have that gift. Okay. There's something about the perception that's very important here. That's awakening. Divine perception. It's more than just having this talent or this gift. Like, there is a reason why you've been given that. Certain spiritual abilities. For somebody, this could be divine sight, right? I'm talking about the eye of Horus, right? You may be very tapped into your third eye. Whatever that is, it's expanding, it's growing. This came out in my last message as well. It's expanding and it's growing. And this is taking me back to that wing of Isis. Like, there's a lot of protection during this time around you, right? While this is growing and expanding, you have a lot of divine support and protection so that you will be able to safely expand in the way that you need to. Purpose is for service. It's not for self-grandizement, right? It's not to serve self. This is about service to others, service to the collective, service to the world, right? So this may be tapping you into ideas or insight on how you can maybe avail yourself in a greater way. Yeah. There's something about you needing to trust your perception, whatever you are perceiving, and think that you know, right? There's something about trusting that. Yeah. Now, I also wanted to take a look too at how these gifts are appearing, how they're coming into being, or how did they come into being, how you might recognize them. And I have the Two of Wands, lots of action oriented energy with the wands. I have the Nine of Wands, and I have the Ten of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles. Now, with the Two of Wands, I'm almost immediately getting empowerment, right? We are talking about the empowerment of gifts. But even more than that, with the Two of Wands, this is almost like stumbling across these things, maybe at a time when you're at a crossroad, or when you have to utilize your own power, your own wisdom. The Two of Wands, I do feel like there's something about coming to a place where you're being positioned to make some type of decision, right? Twos are about choices and wands are about action. It's almost like some of you will stumble upon this by being in a place where you have no choice but to act. You ever stumble upon one of your talents? It's like, ooh, I didn't know I could do that, right? Maybe you were being chased by a dog and you hopped up on the car with a little bit of, with just a little bit of energy, with just a little bit of force. And you're like, oh, I didn't know I had hops like that, right? It's like being put in a situation where you have to act out of your power and you discover this. So for some of you, you may trip into this, right? Into these abilities, into this awareness. For some of you, this is going to be through pressure, right? Through pressure, being at a crossroads, having to focus, having to prepare for something, having to plan something out through intention. I feel like the Nine of Wands is really talking about healing. The Nine of Wands can sometimes be like the wounded healer. And the wounded healer is someone who has developed a lifestyle of placing themselves in a position to need to be healed. Not only that, putting the responsibility of the healing sometimes on others. Like the Knight of Wands can sometimes be considered the wounded healer, somebody waiting for somebody else to come and make it right. Or they're the ones who is kind of like the sacrificial lamb. They see themselves as having to do it because who else is going to do it, right? Even if it causes them loss, even if it causes them pain, right? Some of you will stumble upon this through healing, right? I feel like that Nine of Wands is talking about healing. It's also talking about this resiliency that is cultivated through this energy of Nine of Wands too. The Nine of Wands can sometimes have some issues around healing and placing themselves in, situations that may not necessarily make sense, but there's a sense of resiliency here because they've gone through over and over and over, right? What do they say? It's kind of like building muscle, right? It's kind of like building tenacity. There's something that's happening on the back end when you're going through these lessons over and over and over. So there's a bit of resiliency here too. It's out of that determination and that persistence. It's almost like you're waiting for something. You may be very aware of what this is, and you will take nothing less than what it is that you know to be true. It's like, I didn't do all this work for nothing. It must be something on the other side of this difficulty, right? Why am I the one that can carry, such a heavy load? And it just seems like nothing. Like some of the stuff that you've been through, people would have fell over and croaked and, unalived themselves possibly. And you seem to be doing it like with no hands, gracefully. Matter of fact, you seem to be navigating the difficulties with grace. There's a sense of resiliency here. Like you're taking nothing less than what you are expecting. And so some of you will be introduced to this because you expect nothing less. You're waiting on it. You have worked for it. You have sacrificed for it, right? Because you feel like there's just got to be something more, right? I feel you. And then for some of you with the Ten of Pentacles, this is something that may have been handed down. You are very aware of it with this Ten of Pentacles because this is something, that may be tapping you into your legacy. Ten of Pentacles is all about tradition. It's about family legacy. It's about stability. Yeah. For some of you too, this feels like very grounded energy too with the Wands and the Pentacles. Very grounded energy. I feel like for some of you, there's a plethora of things with this Ten of Pentacles. There might be, and the Nine of Wands too. Both of those give me the energy of you may very well be all three of these and some more. If you have tapped into and you're utilizing your energy, I feel like Spirit is letting you know, like you are going to trip and find some more. There's like lots more that's waiting to be unveiled and to be discovered by you with the Ten of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands. Let me show you why I feel that way. When you look at him, how he's holding one wand, look at all the wands that are not being utilized behind him. He's just holding one. There's so much more that's waiting to be picked up and discovered and used. The Ten of Pentacles gives that energy too. All the pentacles along the top there, right? There's abundance here when we talk about purpose and maybe even what you've been given to operate in your purpose. But this is how you will kind of come upon this for whoever you are. And then I also pulled to find out, like, how will you know this is for you? This may resonate here, but even more so, how will you know that this is talking to you? I pulled the Queen of Swords, okay, the Three of Cups, and the Five of Wands, okay? So you are somebody who I feel like has a powerful voice. You're somebody that has a powerful voice. I'm going to say that with the Queen of Wands. Along with that, I'm also going to say you're someone with a very strong will. You're not a pushover, and you are someone who is a force to be reckoned with, right? I don't necessarily think that you are cruel or you're, what's the word I want to use? You're not like a tyrant, like you just go and you wreck things and tear things down when they don't go your way. But I feel like you have a very strong sense of self, that there's a lot about you that makes your presence known, right? You have a presence in the world, definitely so. And I feel like there's something that is very no nonsense about you as well. You could be somebody that has a very short patience, very short span of patience. You may have a very short tolerance for BS and for things that just, you know what I mean. You're a very no nonsense type of person. It doesn't mean that you have to be feminine just because this is a queen. That just means that there's a lot of common sense, I feel like, that you carry. But being that it is a queen as well, there's a lot of water energy in the energy as well, which means that you could be very compassionate, very, relatable, very empathic as well, very connected with your source. I feel like you absolutely kind of have a lot of insight on who you are with this Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is air energy. So you could be Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. Okay. But overall, I feel like you have a nice grip on your worldview, even though that could be changing as we speak with the Eye of Horus. This is all about expanding that, right? And seeing things from a greater perspective, backing off of your own perspective so that you can see the greater perspective. I think that could be changing. However, there is a solid core, a solid foundation that remains intact because you know what you know who you are, and nothing can refute that. That's what I'm hearing. Nothing can refute that. There is a little bit of a stubbornness that's coming out here as well. I'm feeling with this Queen of Swords. I'm getting a lot of blue with the Queen of Swords coming out. You could be somebody that feels some type of way about the color blue. That may be significant for you. Yeah. I also have the Three of Cups too. Now, the Three of Cups is going to be water energy. So you could be Cancer, right? You could be Pisces or Scorpio. You are somebody who has a very joyful disposition all the time. You are somebody, again, this is reminding me of that Divine Sisterhood card. Like, you attract energy, you attract celebration. Like, people are attracted to you because of the energy, because of this energy of happiness and thankfulness and gratefulness that you exude. They're just attracted to you because there's something beautiful. There's something celebratory about how you exist in life, how you actually do things. I feel like there's a lot about you too that celebrate others. You entreat others. You know how to treat those that are close to your heart, those that are connected to you. Doesn't mean that you have this large, connection. I feel like you could attract maybe on a large scale, but when it comes to like the close inner circle, you may be very selective in that way. Lots of yellows coming out in this one for me. You could identify with that color. I'm just feeling like a lot of sun here, a lot of joyful energy. You're somebody who is very optimistic, I feel. Maybe even toxic positivity. I'm feeling a little bit of that coming out here too. Like, you tend to see the good in everything, in people, even to a fault. Like, you see the good in people until they show you something different, I'm hearing. That's beautiful. That can sometimes get you in trouble as well. But for whoever you are, I feel like you're absolutely very creative as well. There's something very creative about you. You take pride in your space. I feel like their space is very intentional. It's not just cluttered with things, but it's very intentional. You select what it is that you will create in your space. You're very creative. Very watery too. You could be somebody who is very emotional. It is water energy. Um, there may be a lot of things about you that is a challenge when it comes to the emotions. You could be somebody who just, along with that joy, that high level frequency of joy and happiness, there's the equal amount of emotions that sometimes can be a little bit uncontrollable. That's okay. I think that's beautiful if that's who you are, right? I feel like you could be someone too. I can't help but look at the moon cycles on this card. You could be someone who is attracted to the moon, or there's some connection you have with astrology or moon cycles. You could be tapped into that energy. That could be very relevant for the type of life that you live. Doesn't have to be. That may not be for everybody. That could be for like a select few. There's something about the waning moon and the crescent moon that's coming out in this energy, and the full moon as well. Lastly, I have the Five of Wands, and this is fire energy. Okay. So you could be Aries, you could be Leo, you could be Sagittarius. I feel like you are definitely somebody who I'm getting, and you know what I'm hearing? Heavyweight. I don't know why boxing is coming up for me. You are a heavyweight. Okay. We're not talking about the lightweights. And I'm trying to think of a lightweight boxer. I don't know the names of any, but you are like Mike Tyson, right? You are a heavyweight. I feel like you have the ability to carry like heavy loads. Like you have the ability to maintain this balance in of chaos, right? There's something about you that is very balanced, that is very stable, that has been tried in the fire. It's almost like that phoenix, that rising phoenix from the fire, from the ashes, right? Every time you go through, you just come out more and more resilient, more and more strong, and you go higher and higher. There's something about you that is just very grounded. And I feel like the more chaos that tries to enter into your energy field, the more grounded you become, or the more you learn and deepen in that energy of groundedness and stability. It's almost like you have learned how you've learned through the difficulties, how to sustain. That's the energy I was getting with the Nine of Wands and the Wings of Isis, this very heavy, heavy energy. I mean, there's something about you that may be off-putting because of this heaviness that you carry. I can't help but even look at this picture, how she's just standing there. Look at all of the distraction and the chaos around her. There's a volcano that's exploding behind her. Matter of fact, she's standing in the lava. And what is she doing? She's focused on the tulips that she's holding, with all the chaos going on around her. Wands flying, stars flying, lava rolling down the mountain, right? Filling the valley. And yet she stands there draped in a green cape, in heart energy, focused on the beauty before her or him. And even in the midst of that, there's still the balance happening. There's still this activation that's happening here as we see the star shining through the lava, through the heat, through the fire, and the Kundalini rising through this. And so there's something about you that gets activated through trials. Through trials, you get activated. You get crumped. When things get difficult, that's when you start showing out. Not that you mean to, but that's just who you are. You could be somebody that loves a challenge. You love when people tell you what you can't do, because that's your invitation to do exactly that. Yeah. You're a fire starter, a trailblazer. That's what I'm hearing. Yeah. So that's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting. This is really, beautiful energy. We're talking about the purpose. Like, how will you know if these energies resonated with you? I feel like you don't run from a fight. You just stand flat footed and whatever it is that you're doing, wherever you are, and you just allow the drama and the chaos to do what it's going to do. But you continue focusing, doing what you need to do. You're unmoved. I did want to take a look and see what the challenges are. So I pulled a couple of my wisdom from the Hidden Realms Oracle. The card that came out was the Winged Ones, the Winged Wise Ones, still talking about angelic help. And I don't know why this is such a profound message that keeps resurfacing in my readings. Something about angels, that's a big deal here. And this comes out as some type of challenge in this reading, angelic help or miracles. And I don't know if that's because there is a lack of belief. I don't know if there has been some type of experience that has left a bad taste in your mouth when it comes to spiritual things, or just simply believing that there could be a force greater than us, right? That is very much present and active, engaging, right? On an energetic level, on a spiritual level. I do want to clarify this, why this is coming in as a challenge. Okay, so I'm going to pull from my Muse Tarot deck. Why is the Winged Ones, the Winged Wise Ones, coming in as a challenge? That was definitely part of someone's purpose, being heavily protected. Why is this coming in as a challenge? It's good energy, but why is it coming in as a challenge? The Winged Wise Ones. Okay. So we have Pentacles energy, Two of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles. Okay. Two of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles. It's coming in as a challenge. So Two of Pentacles almost gives me the energy of being too busy to see what's right in front of your face. Look at her. She's not even trying to see it. Her head is up in the clouds, holding, juggling, right? Just doing everything but trying to see. The Five of Pentacles gives me, there's something about the mental state. It's almost like, who am I, right? You may be asking, who am I? Like that heavenly host would be concerned with me. Like there's almost like this energy of unbelief, being afraid to believe, being fearful to believe, trying to do everything but actually give your attention because you're afraid to believe. You're afraid to acknowledge that it wasn't just a coincidence. The fact that you somehow escaped what everyone else, that came before you maybe fell victim to, or maybe didn't make it. I don't know. There's something here about not being willing to see things differently, being too wrapped up in the day-to-day, being too wrapped up in what you find security, what you see as security, right? Not realizing that it's not security at all. It's just a menial bit of experience, and Spirit is trying to help us to open up and see something greater, right? But being bound, just like this person in this picture, she's curled up in the fetal position, being bound in some type of way to hardship, to worries, to fear of safety and security, not being able to step outside of the feelings of the fear of missing something, right? I'm getting that energy too. There's some difficulties, maybe, I don't know, scarcity mindset. I don't know why this would come through as a struggle. I guess I can understand it. There's something about being busy, just doing lots of things, staying busy, and just doing many different things, being preoccupied to see. So on one hand, I just feel like you have not given space, maybe, to prove. It's like, it's okay to ask for clarity. It's okay to ask for proof. If this is true, right? These synchronicities, these signs, if this is true, and if this is what I think it is, show me without a shadow of a doubt that this is what it is. This is what I think it is. It's okay to ask. That's what they're there for. That's what the angels do. They are there on service. They're on mission, just like they're trying to help you get on mission. They're on mission too. So it's okay to ask for help. That's what this is, angelic help. Even if you feel like you don't have time to stop and pay attention to menial things like this, help me to make time, help me to see, help me to find a way to fit this in to my, routine, to my way of living and seeing things. Ask. We have not because we ask not. Okay. That's what I'm hearing. And then on the other end, I wanted to find out what we're not seeing in all of this, and sacred union comes out. I don't know. Y'all make it make sense, because I don't know. I just pull the cards and things come out. Sometimes I don't even do the reading because the same energy comes out and it surfaces. And I'm like, why does this keep coming out? And I will just sit on readings because I'm just like, I'm tired of hearing the same old rigmarole, the same old story, the same old sob story about union and about partnership and about romance. I'm tired of hearing it, obviously, honestly so. But if that's what comes out, then that's what I have to read. I have to be integrous too in reading the energy. Sometimes I'll be wanting to put the card back in the deck, but it's like, but that's not the message that spirit is giving. And so I have to be integrous with the reading too and read what comes out. So this is what comes out on the shadow side, what you're not seeing. Something about sacred union, partnership, romance. I don't know how that fits in, so I'm going to clarify it, because I didn't get anything here. Nothing, not one silch about love, about romance. But what is this? Why is sacred union hidden and not seen here? What is this energy around sacred union? I have the King of Wands and the Ace of Materials, the Ace of Pentacles, and then the King of Pentacles. I don't know. So there's some type of opportunity here. There's an opportunity here, an unlimited opportunity. It has something to do with maybe, a King of Wands, a King of Pentacles. Again, it's energy. Just like I was talking about with the Queen of Swords, it's energy. This is very leadership driven energy, right? And when we talk about the Ace of Materials, the Ace of Pentacles, this is like an opportunity to open up an unlimited portal that doesn't have a glass ceiling. It's like you can take the opportunity as far as you want to take it. Now, when we look at the masculine energy around this masterful King of Wands, this masterful Wands energy, which is very entrepreneurial, I feel like spirit could be saying that this could actually be something that can be taken even further than just a hobby, right? This could actually be something that can be turned into maybe a lifestyle, maybe some form of a business, right? Or venture. With the King of Wands, we're talking about entrepreneurial spirit. With the King of Pentacles, we're talking about using your resources. It's something about wealth here, using that for divine purpose as well. And the fact that it's centered with the Ace of Wands, whatever that is will be multiplied abundantly without end. It's almost like as far as you want to take it, right? As much as you want to, increase this opportunity in this venture, in this portal, the sky is the limit. And I'm almost getting like the energy too of like opening up a air bar, right? Like who's ever going to not need air, right? We're always going to need air, fresh air, or opening up a water bar or opening up some type of staple, right? It's like opening up the thing that will only increase the further we move into the future. There's something about tapping into an unknown source, an unknown prospect. And it may be something that you don't even realize is going to be very much needed in the future. But there's an opportunity here. There may be two different choices. Now, where the partnership comes in, I have to address that too. This could be a person, right? That this venture could be pursued with. It could be a King of Wands or a King of Pentacles. King of Wands feels very entrepreneurial, full of energy, like full of prospects, full of talent and inspiration. It's like, is there anything that you can't do? Right? That's what you would ask the King of Wands. And, you know, they just shrug their shoulders like, I mean, what? I just do what I like, right? But this is a very inspirational, very unstoppable, very resourceful energy. On the other side, we have the King of Pentacles, which is very grounded, very settled, very abundant and wealthy. Doesn't have a lot of needs because they have everything that they need or can produce their own needs. Very opposite of the King of Wands, which is very quick to do and you get out and inspire. The Queen of Pentacles is more looking for long-term stability. So they're looking at the long game, right? This could be somebody who is not spry and just hopping around doing all of this. This is somebody that is looking for groundedness and stability and safety and something that is more sure, is not willing to take a lot of risks. So this could be a fire sign. It could be an earth sign. That's coming out in the reading for somebody. I don't know. Okay. Spirit added that at the end for some reason. I don't know, but I'm reading the energy that comes out. And so that's what I have. Obviously, this could be someone who is very much tied to your purpose. Okay. Whatever that is, take that how it resonates. My name is Leticia. That's what I have. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you feel led. Thank you for stopping by. Till next time. Yeah, we'll see ya. Bye.